Welcome back to Creative Cousins. If you are new, we are two cousins and we make art. On today's episode, we are talking about 2024's best and worst artwork. And we will also talk about our childhood memory or just nostalgic memory, as we now call it. But anyway, how are you doing today, Allie?
I'm good. I'm excited to show off some of my favorites and also excited to rag on myself because that'll be fun.
Yeah, I figured today we probably don't have to get into our recent creations since this is sort of kind of recent creation episode. It's
Yeah, I mean, it's like within the
2024.
past year.
Yeah, so that's good enough, I think. But who wants to start? Should we do like one best from each of us and just like go, or do you want to start with the worst first?
Yeah, let's do the worst first. We can both do our worst and then we'll do our best.
Okay, we work our way up, basically.
Yeah,
Work our way up.
yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Let's do the marker flower 2 .jpg. So for this one, this is a little bit of a throwback. This was one of the first of the famous marker flower drawings that really took off this year. So this one isn't necessarily bad, okay? I don't hate any of these worst artworks that are coming up.
It's not bad, it's just less evolved.
Yeah, so this was like starting off. I still like it, um, but it's definitely the first, uh, or one of the first, not the first one. It's like one of the first early versions of my marker drawings. And I do still like it. It's a red tulip, like more abstract background in the distance. And with this one, I was really like going for a lot of different colors in the background. I was really kind of trying to do that, like I said, that like that bokeh effect, but all over the place in this one. And then tried to have a more detailed drawing in the foreground. The idea, the concepts of it has not really changed that much. I still kind of do the similar thing, but I've kind of experimented with the backgrounds more. But the flower in the foreground, that idea hasn't really changed that much. Like my most recent one from this year, or this year, it's technically was at the end of 2024. The most recent one, they haven't changed like the flower drawing that much itself. I still did like the marker very similar, but and I still had like the line work be very similar. But I think I improved the line work over time.
Yeah, it would be
Anyway,
cool if you could like it would be cool if you could like splice in the most recent one just so the viewers can see like the evolution of
oh I yeah
flower marker drawings.
yeah I could put that in there. Yeah, I'll put it in. Probably I might have already done it. Maybe here or earlier. Um, but yeah, and then of course a lot of these images come from the photos that I took. So a lot of the times what I'll do is I love taking pictures of flowers. I love it. I love flowers. And it's one of the more fun things for me to take pictures of because I just think it's fun to get close ups of things, as we all know, as we've seen. Then these actually were tulips that I took from the backyard. Now, I didn't get them from the backyard, but I literally just had two tulips that I got from like a bouquet of tulips. I can't really remember where I got the bouquet from. I think someone gave it to me, but I literally just like took the pictures of the tulips and then just took a picture of them and then had there was like a anyway, long story short, they come from the photos that I take of them. And yeah, take a lot of photos, pictures. I take a lot of pictures of flowers, so that has not
You?
changed. Yeah,
No.
you know, I blame my mother.
Yeah, both of our moms do that actually.
Take a lot of pictures. of flowers. Just always have, okay? Anyway, the thing I would mostly change about this one is the color palette and the background. Just make it a little bit more simple. Simplify it a tad. Try to make the circles a little bit more blendy. These are also, though, before I got my Copic markers, which I love. And so it definitely helps when you have like really fancy markers as well to help the blending. But
For sure. I was gonna say that actually because I can notice like a big difference in the blending.
yeah. Oh, also another big thing that actually did change this is not marker paper. So that actually changes it a whole lot. Like once I started using actual marker paper, the texture of the paper makes a huge difference because it's like slipperier. This was just regular drawing paper. So that actually did play like a huge difference in it. The drawing paper is like not as smooth as the marker paper.
That
So
makes sense.
yeah. Anyway, you have any thoughts on this drawing?
I don't really think it's that bad, so I don't really have a lot to say.
Yeah, I know. I don't think it's that bad either. So, but you know, I think it's just an early adaptation of the marker drawing series. So,
All right, so we'll go to 4 by 6 06866. By the way, I just want to clarify again because I've said this before on the podcast when we look at my old work, but whenever I'm talking about my old work and not liking it or not
this one.
liking certain aspects about it, it's never to do with the people in the pictures. It's always to do with the technical aspect of the composition or the lighting or something about the image that I feel like I could have done better as an artist. Um, so just disclaimer because
That's
I'd
fair.
never want anybody to think that it's about the clients. So this one, I was like upset because I did actually like the officiant asked me like, should I step out for the kiss? And I told him yes, and he did step out for the kiss, but he was still in the frame, and it was like where I was standing, like it was really difficult to like get a picture like without him in the frame. And the courthouse was like
Right.
the room was like really small. And like I didn't want it to be like from one perspective of like, just like her face or whatever and like the back of his head. So like
Yeah.
I like couldn't really like fix much about this, but like I wish I had like waved him off. You know what I mean? Like I wish I had told him to step like way out. Like go far away, like get the heck
Leave.
out of the
Get
way.
out of here.
Because it's in like a few of these pictures and I was able to I'm gonna show one more because it's like the same image but with AI.
Yeah.
I was able to somewhat remove him, but you can still see like how it looks kind of weird. So if you look closely at the chair, you'll notice it looks weird.
Right. Yeah, it does look a little.
Um,
Oh, yeah. Now I see it.
like AI wasn't able to like completely like replicate like the chair. Like I wasn't able to get it to like be perfect.
Yeah, it's
And
kind of missing a.
the other thing I just noticed about this photo that is like pissing me off that I can't believe I didn't do this is that like I could have fixed like her hair. Like there's a small like bump in her hair that like I easily could have like removed and I don't know how I didn't notice that. Um
Oh,
and yeah, I feel bad now. Like
yeah.
sometimes things just like do get missed. Like it's not in every photo, like there's a few pictures of the kiss. And like in some angles like you can't tell. Or like maybe I fixed it, but I must have missed it in this one. So,
Yeah, that chair is so funny that there's like a missing part of the armrest thing or whatever. It's like
I
missing the.
know it's and then like I wish I'd removed like the wires by the podium. It's just really hard like with courthouse weddings like they are so fast. It was literally a 5-minute ceremony. Um so like it's literally like so fast and like there isn't a lot of room. Usually it's like super cramped and they just like aren't very pretty inside. They're not like built for photos. So
Yeah, and I'm sure though that they expect that. Like, hopefully the client isn't like, you know,
Yeah, I mean, you would hope they would like know that it's not like, your average like wedding venue.
yeah,
Um, but it just sucks because like you do like want the best photos for your clients, and I think that's why I think in 2025 and 2026 I'm gonna be gravitating away from courthouse elopements, like unless it's like a courthouse that's like the San Diego courthouse, which I don't know if you've seen it, but
no, I
it's
haven't.
gorgeous. And like the one in Connecticut, like the Hartford City Hall or whatever, is really, really pretty inside. So I just like, I guess I would just like encourage my future clients to pick a courthouse that is like really like aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah,
Although there is something to say for like this one they picked because this is where they met, like the town they met in. So
yeah, that makes
it's hard.
sense.
It's hard.
I mean, yeah, the original picture is funny though, like with him just like standing there.
I know.
It's really funny. Hey, it's accurate to what happened during the
It's
day.
true. Yeah, this is true. And like
He was there.
I I do believe also in like preserving the original moment. But I think there's like a balance. And yeah. I mean, this was the widest lens also that I had. So like this was like me standing like the furthest away that I could.
Yeah.
And like it's still like pretty close up. And like even if I'd had like I was shooting on like a 35 millimeter, even if I had like a 28, like it wouldn't have been much better. It probably would
Mm,
have been better, but not like insanely better composition wise.
gotcha.
I feel like also like it just comes with experience, like knowing where to stand. Like I think if I could do this over again, I would have gone around like the back of like the room, and like I would have kind of had like sort of a like there was a big row, like a big desk that was like blocking between like the far side of the room and like where they had their first kiss. But I think what I would have done is like I would have gone behind the desk and then just kind of had like a top down sort of view so that the desk like wasn't in the picture.
Oh,
And then it could have been like further away and maybe like a little bit better of a composition. But again, these ceremonies are so fast, and there are couples literally going in and leaving like right before and after. Like sometimes they walk in to like someone else's, like
awkward.
because it's happening like so fast because like they schedule it time, but like sometimes they take people early and then sometimes people show up early. Um, so like these things happen so fast, there's no time for you to really like strategize on like where you're gonna stand. So it's just
Right.
like it probably gets easier with experience, but yeah, like I literally walked in and they're like, "Okay, we're starting now," and then it was over in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
high pressure situation. Then you have like,
yeah,
wow.
like at least on like a normal wedding day, you're gonna have to, you're gonna have a lot of space to
Mm,
like move around and like you're gonna have time before like the first kiss happens, so you can like decide like how you want to compose it. It was harder than I expected.
that's fair. Well, then yeah, it's always like, it's a learning lesson. You always learn every time you do it. So, but
Yes, yeah,
either way, I think people will be understanding that you literally did not have a lot of time. Hopefully.
yeah. I mean, and what matters to most people is that you just get the moment.
Yeah.
Like, at least you got the moment. You didn't miss the kiss.
Yeah, I think exactly. If you miss the kiss because you were too busy trying to get the perfect shot of the kiss,
Composition. Yeah,
then
exactly.
you're going to have a little bit of
Then
a
you didn't.
problem.
Yeah, that you fucked up.
You took the best of a awkward situation. So good for you. All right, we'll go back to one of my worst. And I'm going to say my little fisherman's path.
Oh, this is different. I don't know if
So
I've seen this one.
I actually did not post this one on Instagram or my portfolio. I don't think. I can't remember if it's on my portfolio website or not. This one actually is fine, but it's not my favorite just because I don't think the colors are as interesting to me. Like they don't really. do a lot for me. It doesn't do a lot for me. I think it's interesting though. I do like it because this is another situation where this is based off a photo that I took of this guy who was fishing in, where was this again? Oh yeah, I think it's somewhere near Half Moon Bay. Yeah, I think it's somewhere near Half Moon Bay. I can't remember
I
the
was actually gonna
exact.
guess Half Moon Bay.
Yeah, actually, I really think it's that. Now that I am thinking about it, I think it is. And it was another cloudy day. I get so many pictures. Whenever I go to the beach, it always tends to be cloudy and misty and foggy. And that's just the way the cookie
Figures.
crumbles. But this one, I did like the rocks. The rocks were cool. I did like the texture. But yeah, it's fine, is what I'll say. It's fine. I was kind of experimenting with landscapes with marker because normally when I do landscapes, it's usually either a digital painting or a charcoal drawing. But I haven't actually done the marker with landscapes before. So that's why it's a little bit different. And I wasn't like inspired. I wasn't like as into it to post it. It's fine. You know what I mean? But this isn't.
Yeah. It's
So
different though, yeah. It's like a little bit rougher and like almost like more I don't want to say it's abstract, but it's like more abstract than your usual.
I would say the rocks probably are the most abstract
Yeah.
part.
Yeah. I agree.
But
But it's like it's different. Yeah, for sure. It's a little bit different than your usual style.
yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's fine. I just really liked the scene. I liked the guy just walking along by himself. So I
Yeah, no,
did
it's cool. I definitely like it. It's definitely different. I feel like also it's not a flower picture, so you
you
really
really
did a good job pushing yourself
you
with this
really
one.
really broke some boundaries. It was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough to get over that hurdle. Um
Well, it probably is harder to draw people with markers than it is to draw flowers.
I mean, it was very tiny. So it was very that's the hardest part. It's just the it
Yeah.
was far away. I mean, it was tiny. So anytime I draw tiny, I'm like, I don't like it. So
I mean, I like looking at this one, so.
thank you. Yeah, the main thing I would probably change with it was that it's just not as exciting as a subject matter to me. But and maybe if it was done with a different medium, I don't really know. I
Yeah,
like
or
it.
different colors, like you said.
Yeah, maybe different colors. Maybe something that could do something to make it more exciting, basically. But yeah, so that's
We'll move on to my second worst one.
I can't see anything in this thing.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. So this was my first ever roll of film.
Oh, I see.
Actually, wait a minute.
Oh,
It
maybe
wasn't
not.
my first. No, it wasn't my first, but it was my first roll of film on the camera that my sister got me from an estate sale that was from the 1950s. So it was my first roll of film on this camera. Um, and I remember in the moment I knew there was not enough light for this picture with the camera that I had, the settings that I had.
Yeah,
Um, like it just didn't have the capability for it. But I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna try anyway. I'm gonna try anyway because this would be such a cool picture. And
if only. If only.
if only, like, I want you to tell me what you think is happening in this
I
picture.
I just see a guy, I think, sitting there. Sitting. There's a guy that's sitting, but I can hardly see anything else around it. And then I see in the distance some lights on in a room. But let's other than
Yeah,
that,
so
it's literally I have no idea. It won't let me zoom in for some reason.
this was um this was
So
a wedding reception and everyone was sitting not everyone, but some people were sitting outside under like the twinkling lights on like the patio area. And it was like later in the night, so like people half the people were dancing and half the people were just like lounging around drinking coffee and I just saw like this one guy in like a light colored suit with like his cup of coffee and like the coffee cups at this venue were like the small like teacup kinds. something about like the way that he was drinking his coffee, like he just looked so cool. Like he was like he had like a little plate under it and like he was like holding the little plate and then he had like, the little cup with the tiny handle, like he was holding it and he was about to take a sip. I just thought it would have been a really cool picture if it came out and sadly.
I like the concept. I love
Yeah.
a fancy little teacup with the guy and
Yeah.
wearing a light suit. That
Yeah.
that sounds cool because, back in the day, I feel like guys again in the early 1900s, they wore more lighter suit colors in general.
Yeah, like if this photo came out on film, I think it would have looked so vintage and cool.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
You win
sadly it did
some and
not.
you lose some. Um,
Yeah,
you have some cool film photography, so you're gonna have some bad ones too.
this is true.
It would only be fair. It would
Yeah.
only be fair. You can't have them all be winners. Especially with an old camera. I mean, that's really hard to have to deal with, and
Yeah.
a low light situation. So, props to you.
Thanks. Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, this is cool. It's
Did,
different.
did you see this one?
No, I've never seen this one.
Oh, okay. So, this one, I actually made it not even that long ago. I made it a couple months ago, maybe a month ago even. And it's based off flowers that I took pictures of, but this time at the gardens that I like I talk about all the time, Philoli. It's an awesome place to take pictures of flowers. It's amazing. And this one's from there as well. I did a mix of colors here, mix of markers here. So actually, it's both alcohol-based markers and the water-based markers. And I think that I do
Interesting.
like that, but it is for some reason because I'm including the water-based ones and the alcohol-based ones. For me, I can tell right away which ones are which, and maybe that bothers me. Because I use them both in the same drawing. Maybe no one else would notice, but because I know which one's which, I can
Yeah,
tell, and
that
so
makes
it
sense.
bothers me that
I
there's like a
cannot tell.
mix. So I don't know. Maybe that's why. I'll tell you, part of the background colors are usually the water based ones, and the ones in the foreground, the flowers, are the alcohol based ones. And they're not bad. Neither of them are bad. But for me, I feel like it's because because they look different to me. It's like it sticks out, and I don't like it because of that. But I like this drawing. But yeah, so there's that reason why I don't like it. But also, well, I just said I like it. But I like it. But one of the aspects that I don't like about it, there's things I don't like about it, and that's just the mix of the markers. Uh, but another thing that I don't really vibe with is just the color choice again. It's just not as vibrant as some
Really?
of my other ones. I don't know. Like,
I just feel like I really disagree. Like, I love the colors here.
oh, okay, good.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
see what you mean, but I also feel like this was experiential for you, correct? Like you were trying to like mix two types of markers.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it shows like when did you do this one? How long ago was this?
maybe a month or two ago.
I don't know. I think it's I don't know why, but I really like this one. I feel like it's like for some reason my first thought when I opened this was like I was thinking about this is gonna sound so weird, but like bear with me now. I was thinking about seaweed and mermaids.
Okay, I get the seaweed part.
I don't know why mermaids, but like for some reason when I look at this photo, all I could think about was, that scene in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire when they're underwater with the mermen or the
Oh,
mermaids.
yeah, I know what
Like
you're talking about.
I feel like these colors, aside from the pink, like the blue and the greens are like that color.
And I literally just rewatched that movie. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And I've watched it so many times.
Do you think I'm right, or because I haven't seen the movie in a long time, so
No, I think you're right. There was a lot of that yellow green. It's kind of like a yellowish green kind
yeah,
of color.
yellow green, but also like blue green.
Yeah, and there's probably
It almost looks like it's like underwater plants, I
it
think is
does
what I'm
kind
trying
of
to get
look
at.
underwater, actually. You're right.
Yeah.
Because the plants look really wavy and they're in like they're like strips almost. They look like they're
I don't
doing
know. I
this.
think this one and the one of the fishermen are interesting to me because they're both they're both marker drawings I would imagine that you would do if like that you, Beth, you specifically would do
Me.
if you smoked weed. Like I'm not sure why I'm getting that vibe, but like I feel like if you did like shrooms or smoked weed, like these are what your marker drawings would look like.
That's so funny. Well, it wasn't my intention, which is why I'm like confused by these drawings. But that is really funny though.
I think I don't know, I think it just shows bravery that you were able to like go out of the box to do something
So
different.
brave. I'm so brave. It's true. I'm glad you
Like
noticed.
not only did you two different markers together, but you did like a whole different style of like lines. Like it's less blended, but it's like more like fine lines,
Yeah.
like black lines, and I think it's cool.
Cool. And then there's one more thing I don't love about it is that I'm doing another thing where the composition's bothering me. I just want to chop off a little bit of the right side to make the flowers a little bit more centered. But anyway,
Yeah, I could see that.
so
But I like it.
wow, you're making me really rethink these drawings.
I just
So
feel like I could tell like you were kind of doing this for fun, and I think that's what I like about it. Like you weren't like putting any pressure on like the end result in this one. Like I feel like I could picture you just like being in a flow state doing these fun little experiential marker drawings. I don't know, it's just cool.
okay,
Anyway, that's
cool.
all I'll say.
Thank you. Yeah, maybe I will post it. I don't know. I didn't even post these ones because I was like kind of whatever about it. So this is why I like doing this. You get perspective, different perspective
Yeah,
on our
on our
less
art.
less liked, let's say, less favored artwork.
Yeah. I do have to apologize for the next photo that I'm going to show is sideways,
Okay.
so I apologize for that.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
Yeah. Yes. Whoa.
Wowzers.
Whoa is right.
What is even
Whoa is right.
happening?
Yeah, this was a sunrise session and
You would never guess it.
it's extremely backlit. Extremely because I put the sun like directly behind them. And I thought I was using fill flash on my camera, but I probably forgot to turn it on. And that's what happens. Your subjects are really dark and the background's really bright. And there was also like it looked so cool in camera. I thought it was gonna look so cool on film, but like the like marks that you see across like the guy
Yeah.
are from like rays of sunlight
Yeah, it
because
looks
like
like that.
the sun was like shining like kind of like into my lens like from the side. Um yeah, so it's kind of cool, but
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna
not my
say it's
best
kind of
work.
dope actually.
Like I did deliver this photo to them because I was like they'll probably want this,
It's
but
kind of a
like
vibe. This is an
I guess
album
I
cover.
the reason I put it in worst is because it's not technically good at all. Like at all. Like there are so many things technically wrong with it. The light leak in the corner, the amount of backlight, like how dark they are, and technically, like from a technical standpoint, like light rays or what you call are like what you would call is like lens flare is not like considered good. Although now it's kind of trendy, it's not like technically good. So, like that's why I put this photo in here because there's like so many things wrong with it, but I still actually do kind of like it.
Yeah,
But
I think it's really cool. It's kind of like a grunge 90s album cover to me.
Yeah, for sure. It looks really vintage.
It looks really cool. I actually really like it. It looks like they're in like some like spiral. I don't know. Like, it's really cool.
Like they're in some kind of like fifth dimension or
Yeah, there's
something.
something happening in there. And then the fact that you can't really see his face, but you see hers just staring right at the camera, it's kind of
I
creepy,
know
but I
it's
like
kind of
it.
weird. Like it's less like a good photo of a couple and more just like a piece
What's
of art. Like
happening? Like she's up to
I'm gonna start
something. Like,
I'm gonna start marketing. I'm gonna start marketing myself as like, like you won't get good photos, but you'll get good art.
yeah, like she is like
Like
doing
you don't know what
something.
you're gonna get.
And he's just kind of there along for the ride, but she's like controlling this. Like she knows that there's something spiral happening. She has a knowing look. And he's just kind of unaware, which, it makes it interesting. Honestly, this is really cool. Actually,
We've
it,
like
it should be in a
ourselves into
museum. Like,
really?
you need to have
Wow,
like a
that's a huge
series.
compliment.
You need to have like a series of this. It's like cool. Just
It's like
rotate it so
moody.
my neck doesn't cramp. But
I
just
know, right? All right,
rotate it.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna start a series of black and white Holga pictures that are like intentionally bad.
Like I love the freaking weird vignette. It's like
I
one
know,
side,
right?
one side is like the dark
That's
vignette.
from I mean, the Holga is basically always vignetted, but it's also more vignetted in this picture because of light leaks because I didn't tape it up.
What's a Holga?
It's a film camera. It's actually considered a toy film camera, but right now, in today's day and age, it is all the rage for wedding photography. It's a medium
Oh,
format camera that only costs $40 and is basically a hunk of junk. But
perfect.
it's
Perfect.
extremely trendy right now, and actually, you can get really good photos with it. This is, I would consider this a bad Holga photo. But maybe in my good category, I'll show you guys what a good Holga photo can look like.
Okay.
And if you want, I can show you what the camera looks like right now.
Okay.
Um, it's basically like a piece of plastic. It literally looks like a toy. Um, but like all of like the trendiest like wedding photographers are using them right now, and it's great because it only costs $40.
That's so cool.
This is the Holga.
Oh
I first
yeah,
learned about
it does look like a
Summer.
toy.
Yeah, I first learned about it from Summer Grace Photo, who is a photographer based out of California. She made a reel about like the kinds of film cameras she likes to have with her on a wedding day.
Hmm.
And when she talked about this one, I was like, oh, that's like seems like it's a really good starter like camera or whatever. So I got on Amazon and I bought it. And it has like this one has a built-in flash. Not all of them do. Yeah, it's been really fun. And like I eventually learned that like the best way to use this for an actual wedding day is to like tape up the seams wherever light could get in because it is like really
Oh.
prone to light leaks because it is so cheap. Um
Oh.
like most film cameras are like sealed up tight so like light doesn't get in there and like ruin your film.
Right.
But I think this is never meant to be like a good film camera.
That's
It was meant
so
to be like
funny.
a tourist kind of camera, you know what I mean? Like but right now it's like all the rage. And like it's just really funny. It literally has like two settings and it's like actually easier because when you like boil it down to like not having to think about camera settings much, like on a wedding day, you can just actually focus on composition and catching the moments. I think it kind of is good because it gets you to like be more intentional with your shots and like
Mm.
really like decide like how you want this picture to look like composition wise. Like you have all the time to think about that versus thinking about like, oh, like what am I doing with the aperture and the shutter speed or whatever, because you can just like focus on like what's important. I think that's why it's so popular right now in wedding photography. Also, I think the reason why it's so popular is because it creates really good Instagram posts because the as you saw, the photo format is square.
Oh yeah, that's
So
true.
it's really great for Instagram posts. So like, a lot of like influencers like really love it for that reason. And like I said, like popular wedding photographers love it because it makes pictures look really good on their feed. And yeah, so that's the Holga.
I think it's cool because it just like you can come up with like theories about what's going on in the photo. You know, you can like make up a
Yeah.
story.
I also think like I don't know, like there is something to be said for like having great like photography gear, but some of the best pictures come from like literally the worst gear. Like I don't think gear when I was a new photographer, I thought gear was so important to being a good photographer. And now that I've like really matured as a photographer, I like don't care about gear at all. Like I care about like things that make my life easier, like gadgets that make my life easier, but I don't care about like expensive gear, like top having the top notch, having the best like whatever because like it is nice to have that stuff if you can afford it, but you don't need it to like take good pictures.
All right. I think we should get into the best. Or I have. All right. So I'm going to start with the Sean playing the piano. All right. So this one is going to be part of the top 3. This is I think I did it kind of more towards the beginning of 2024. I started it in 2024. It took me a while to finish it. And it is a digital painting. I've talked about it on the podcast multiple times, so I'm sure this is not completely out of the blue here. It is Sean, my boyfriend, playing the piano. He's a very good piano player. Yeah, so this was taken. Well, actually, I started the story goes saw Sean playing the piano at his parents' house. I started sketching him, like doing a live sketch. Then, I kept on asking him like a bunch of times, like, keep playing, keep playing. I will wait until I get a sketch done and then you could stop playing. And then eventually couldn't keep playing forever. So I took a picture and then I continued working on it and the did that on Adobe Fresco, my usual digital painting program. And yeah, so I really like it. I tried to make it look pretty dramatic. If
Yeah,
you,
no, I remember telling you before that the lighting is like really dramatic.
yeah, I made it more dramatic than it was in the actual original scene, right? But I do like that if you zoom in, you can see like a bunch of like cool details. I tried to make it like if you zoom in, you can see a lot of like cool stuff. Like I spent too much time making the piano notes in the notebook, the piano book. I literally took the picture of the piano book page that he was on and I put the notes. So if you actually want to, you can
Wow.
read the note. You can actually try to read it and
I
play the
think you
piano.
told me that, but like hearing it now, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it's a little extra. So, because
Oh,
it,
it's really cool though, because like you wanted to preserve like that moment, like the song he was playing. Like,
yeah,
I think that's magical.
yeah. So then I think it's funny that a picture of him is playing on the piano, on
I
the
also
piano,
really like
playing on
how
the piano, sitting on the piano. An old
I like
picture.
how you made like the lighting look so realistic with like how I don't know, like the whole thing, like the whole piano is almost like a little bit like silhouetted by like the lamp. Even like surrounding like the sides of the piano, there's like parts where you could see the light like from the lamp is like brighter.
That's true.
Like I think it's really good.
Thank you. My favorite part about the lighting is just the shirt because it took so long. The
Oh yeah,
shirt.
I remember you complaining about that. I remember you complaining about the details of the shirt.
Yeah, because I added there was a lot of blue light coming in from the right side.
Yeah,
And I kind of,
makes sense.
I made it more dramatic, as I've already said.
I know.
So
I
I
think the
really
blue
liked,
light is very realistic and makes it look even more cinematic.
yeah, thank you. Because I
Also,
wanted
like it's
something else, but
crazy like how symmetrical you were able to get like the piano and the piano keys.
the piano keys were also a pain.
Yeah, like they look perfect. They look like dominoes in a row. Like they look like little chiclets. Like I don't know. They're like they just like look really like aesthetically pleasing. Like I want to eat them. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't
Just
know
cut
why I
that
said
out,
that.
like context. Like, no. I just want to eat them.
Actually, guys, I'm just saying crazy stuff so that we get views on our shorts. I'm just kidding.
The truth is out there. Anyway, aside from Allie being weird, the piano is does look great. I appreciate
It's
that.
so moody. I just love how moody this whole photo is.
Thank you. Yeah, so I really it took about like 50 hours to do this. Took a long time. Probably more than that. I don't even know, but it took a long time and
You
I
should you should start timing
I
how long it takes you.
I literally I try and I fail. I have this little button here because I had to like get physical with it. And because if I didn't get physical with it,
It wasn't gonna happen.
it wasn't gonna happen.
I get that.
And like this thing starts like a time. It does like it counts. Like you have to like, and then you have to like hit it to stop the timer. Or it didn't even do it. There you go. It stopped. It's covered in dust, and I'm just because I haven't used it in forever. Because I am bad at even. I bought something so I could physically have to touch it so I can keep track. Because if I keep track digitally, it'll never happen. So that's why I got a physical button to hit,
Yeah.
and I still don't use it.
I'm gonna slap you. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm gonna come over though. Seriously, I'm gonna visit, and every time I see you drawing, I'm gonna be like, Beth, did you hit your button?
I'm sorry, where's your button? Where is it?
Yeah. I just feel like it'd be so fun. Like it's like a Staples that would easy button. That was easy.
I'm gonna start hitting your
Boom.
head. Anyway, oh yeah, thank
The
you.
closest we've come to fighting on the podcast.
We literally never fight. It's kind of funny.
I know. We actually don't. I don't actually know. We've probably fought when we were younger. Did we ever fight when we were young? This is leading right into nostalgic memories, guys. Maybe we'll save this conversation for nostalgic memories.
Yeah, we'll put a book. Okay, we'll talk. Blah. We will wrap up my drawing here. Okay, I think it's really good.
Yeah,
End of
it's really good.
conversation. Thank you.
It's very good.
Thank you. All right, moving on to yours.
I kind of want to show you guys the Holga photos while it's like fresh in all our brains.
Okay.
I added a few more because I didn't know
Okay.
which one to show.
Go
So
quick.
are you
Okay.
okay with me just like going through them really quick?
Okay. We get it. You're so good that you have so many best.
I just want to show you guys a sampling of what Holga photos can look like. Okay? So this is
Ooh.
again this is a black and white Holga image again. I don't always shoot with black and white film, but sometimes I just kind of feel like mixing it up. So I put black and white film in my Holga. Um, and you can get like some really cool shots with like just black and white. This is a good example, I think, because it shows how you could still get things in pretty good focus and pretty good detail with this camera. Like there's obviously still a soft vignetting to it, but like this is the raw file also, like not the raw, but like the TIFF file. So like this is like how it came back straight from
Right.
the lab.
And so
So
that,
normally I would crop this a little bit to like crop out the edges of the film. Um
and also rotate it.
and obviously rotate it. And then sometimes I do edit my film scans a little bit in Lightroom. But yeah, I just want to show that really quick. And then the next one is
Can I say something real quickly about that
zero.
one?
Yeah.
It reminds me of like a silent movie still.
Yeah. It looks like super vintage, right?
Yeah, it looks
I
really
think like
old.
with the black and white film, it looks even more vintage. You'll see like in the next picture, it still looks vintage, and that's why it's so freaking popular right now because vintage stuff is so popular, and that's why the Holga is so popular because it looks so old.
That
Like the
makes
pictures
sense.
look so old, and people are like so into film. But the next one,
I like it.
Thanks.
It's cute. We'll definitely have the old clock, not clock, old phone.
This was cool. It was a detail they had at their wedding. This is their guest book. So throughout the night, drunk guests were picking this up and leaving them voice messages
Oh,
that they could
yeah, I've
later
seen
listen
that.
to. It's really cool. I like this.
Yeah, at Sean's sister's wedding, she had that too. It was like a phone booth thing that you like, not phone booth, but it's like a phone that you leave messages on.
Yeah, it's so cool. I want
Yeah,
to do this at my wedding and just hear all the dumb shit like the drunk people say.
that is
Um,
awesome. Yeah, I really like the idea. It's so funny. I really like it. Yeah, I think it's so cute. The phone looks old, so it just fits the vibe.
so the next one is, and this one is not perfect either. Like there's a huge light leak at the right side of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
But as you can see, if I had actually taped up my camera, this was my first time using the Holga, this black and white roll.
Right.
If I had actually taped the camera and that light leak wasn't there, it would have been a great photo. Like she's in
Yeah.
focus, just looks really vintagey.
Yeah, I like this
So
one. I think it's a little creepy, but I like it. For
yeah,
me, it just gives me
um,
like creepy, kind of like not in a bad way.
Halloween,
Yeah,
like
it's
almost
a
like Halloween vibes,
yeah, it's like Halloween vibes.
like the undead bride or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was
Um,
like. Yeah,
yeah,
the Bride of Frankenstein type situation,
but
but not a
I feel
bad
like I feel
way.
like I have I feel like I have other ones of like people on color film that like look normal. I'm only gonna show like two more Holgas because I do have more, but I don't want to take the whole time.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's
But
cute.
you could see how like this could be like highly sought after right now.
Yeah, I really like it. It's not black and white.
So that's a color example. Um,
I mean, I think in black and white it would look cool too. It would be a little bit of like a
yeah,
different kind of style, but
yeah.
it would look really cool though either way.
Also, double exposures look really cool on the Holga. It's a double exposure on the Holga, and I just am obsessed with it. Like, quite frankly, it's my favorite picture I've ever taken with the Holga, and it's
Wow.
not even of people. Um, but like, I just love it so much.
Yeah, it's cute. I think I've seen this picture already.
Yeah, it's on
Um,
my feed.
yeah, I know you love double exposures.
I love double exposures. I don't know why. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Yeah, you can see like the vignette sort of around it. Yeah, it's really cool. It's like a lot of pastel
All right,
colors too in the center.
thanks. I'm done now. We can go look at another of your best.
Okay. All right. So let's see. We'll do the famous one. Allie and Rochelle in front of the painted ladies.
Ooh, yes. I'm
I
so glad this one
have
made it in.
to include it in the top three. It's mandatory. This
I'm so
was
glad this one made it in.
Yeah, this one was also kind of early on in the year, I feel like. I This was part of my series of the Cousins in the City series, and I really like it. I spent so much time. Who knows? Like we said before, how much the exact time? Probably at least 100 hours. I can't really remember, but it was a long time. We had to take a
Yes.
minute and
Every
appreciate.
time every time that I look at this picture, I see something I didn't notice before, and I love it.
And what's that?
Like I can actually tell exactly what jeans I was wearing in this picture because the fraying on the bottom of my jeans. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I was wearing those jeans." Like I only have one pair of jeans that looks like that.
That's funny. I'm glad that I made it recognizable. Um,
Yeah, it's a memory.
my favorite part about the drawing, I mean, I love you guys in the center, but I really gotta take a minute for the houses.
I was gonna say, you complained about those houses like there was no tomorrow.
They took so
I did not
long.
hear the end of that. I still am not hearing the end of it because you're talking about it right now.
It took so long. Everyone who knows me,
Okay,
no,
I get it. I'm just kidding.
I am being yelled at on my own shared podcast right now.
Sorry.
When I made multiple drawings of this lady, multiple drawings, and she has the audacity.
No, I know they took a really long time. I know this could not have been easy at all. And they're so symmetrical. Like, I know you did a lot of planning to get them look like that. I just heard so much about these houses.
All right, so Allie can shut her ears and like sing a song in her
Yeah.
head while I talk about my houses. So if you look at the houses, you notice that I had to use a ruler. And if you know anything about me, I'm a wing it kind of person. I like to wing it. So if I have to use a
I would never be
ruler,
able to do this for the record.
anyway, and then I was like checking parallel lines. Anyway, I was doing things that I tell my students to do, and I was like complaining about it. Anyway, so I also like the way I blurred the buildings behind the buildings. I just like how
I
soft and
know.
blurred it looks.
I like that too. I
So
like that too. And
it's
I
an,
honestly don't know if I
yeah,
like really noticed that before, but I was thinking about that like a minute ago.
it's an underrated detail, and that's why I need to bring it up. It's not very noticeable. But yeah. Anyway, yes, you and Rochelle look great. The hands are hard
Thank
to
you.
do. God, I
This was
hated
such
the
a fun trip.
hands. The hands were so hard, but as they usually are. So that's that one. Yeah, this is in case the audience doesn't know. Allie's on the right. Rochelle, we've talked about Rochelle about 74,000 times. She's on the left. And this was in front of the Painted Ladies on Alamo Park in San Francisco, California, when they visited me. And yeah, so there you go.
I love this. I love this so much.
Oh, yeah,
I'll never not
18
love
by
this.
24, 18 by 24 drawing. If I have to say that. Done with charcoal,
Amazing.
obviously. Like I left out like
Amazing,
the important
stunning, beautiful. I'll
hundred
never not love it.
thousand dollar painting drawing.
In my mind, it is. In my mind, it's actually
It's
priceless.
actually
But
it'll just stay in my house forever. I'm totally kidding, by
one
the way. If
day,
you want to buy it, if anyone wants to buy it, just hit
I
me up.
will buy it from you one day when I feel like I can pay what it's worth. I can't afford it right now, but if no one buys it in like a few years when I have a lot of money, I will be buying it.
That's fair.
Um,
Anyway, sorry. Moving on to your other best, even though you share like seven. But okay, we're moving on to.
this is my last one, right?
No, I think no. Oh, is it? I don't know.
So it's interesting actually because every single best one that I've shared has been a film photo, and that's only half of my body of work. Not even half, a lot less than half of my body of work. But the reason I think is because it's the hardest, so I feel the most proud of it. I'm just like really happy with myself and like how far I was able to come with like film this year. That's why I'm just like so freaking proud of like my film photos that came out good. This one is another double exposure. I know you're probably sick of looking at double exposures. I'm sorry. Okay? I'm sorry. But I really like, you know how you like your flowers and your flower market drawings and your pictures of flowers?
Yes,
Well, I really like flowers, but specifically double exposure flowers.
that's true. I've noticed.
So, love flowers. Just love pictures of
This is a
flowers, but gotta
flower
make it just
loving
a
family.
little bit more interesting by doing it as a double exposure. Works every time. So
Ah, yes, I've seen this one.
okay, so we're looking at this scan, double exposure in a greenhouse with some cool red plants.
Yeah, are they technically flowers or are they leaves?
I actually don't know. I don't really know if they're flowers. They're some kind of plant. I probably knew when I took the picture what they were, but have since forgotten. But
Yeah,
remember I told you that red and green are like one of my favorite like color combinations on the last episode?
that's true. Yeah, my flower that the drawing that I did was red and green.
Yeah, and I complimented you on that like literally yesterday. Um,
I
but
remember.
like it's not even because I like Christmas that much. I just love red and green. Like I just love this contrast here.
Complementary colors. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I like it. It is very you and your interests basically all summed up in like one photo. Double exposures, check. Red and green, check. Some kind of plant, check.
And film. Check.
Film, check. So yeah,
Sweet.
it's a fun picture. I like it.
Thank you.
I figure I'll show my last one, then you can show one more.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm putting my kitty cat picture in there.
I love this picture because it reminds me of Casey so much. My cat, my black cat.
And you have this picture now.
I know.
And congratulations.
I still need to get a frame for that and for the other print that I have.
Oh yeah, that's true. You do have the other one, right? That makes sense.
I have another one from you, and I have another one like that I just bought like off of another photographer of like lightning.
Oh yeah, that
I just
didn't
thought
you
it was
buy
like
that with
really
me?
cool. I think so.
You bought
I just
that.
thought it was like really cool. I did, yeah. Um, I just like thought it was really cool he was able to like photograph lightning, so I bought a print. Um, but yeah, I still need a frame for that one too.
That was in California, I think. That was like I'm pretty sure that's when
hmm
you were visiting me.
Yeah, I think it was that trip. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, so this one is of a black cat sitting on my parents' windowsill. It's like the neighborhood stray cat that would just come around and, they basically, I feel like around there they have like a lot of random stray cats. Where I live too, there's actually some stray cats as well. I love looking at cats. It's so cute. I also
Cats are so cute.
painted this with
Love
Adobe
cats.
Fresco. I know, Allie. Um,
Have three of them.
I didn't mean to say that sassily, but I also love cats. Anyway, so then I really do like the way one of my favorite parts about it, actually, there are many, underrated detail is the window itself, the window screen.
Yeah,
I actually spent a lot of
I
time
was
on
actually looking at that.
figuring out how to do that right to make it look good. And it actually did work out. So I really like it. If I have to say like a least favorite, I'm not 100% fan of the leaves. The leaves are okay. But I do like the brick. I like the different
I like the brick.
naturalistic colors of the brick. Anyway,
It's
I
giving
just
like
love the
cottage
colors.
vibes.
Yeah.
I
So
guess like this is maybe more of a compliment to like your parents' house than it is to like your color palette scheming. But I just really like the color of the brick with like the light pink against the black too. Like I don't know, the color palette. It's nice.
okay, first of all, I did change up the colors a little bit to make
I
it
was wondering.
a
I was
little bit
wondering because
more
I was like, I
aesthetic.
don't remember your parents' windows being pink.
No, I did a little bit of artist magic. Don't tell anybody.
I won't. I won't. We all do a little we'll do a little enhancing here or there. It's kind of like how I AI remove things.
I didn't want to do white. I think anytime you do white in a drawing or painting, I think it's kind of boring because then
Yeah,
it just
that's
looks
fair.
kind of empty. So I always kind of do like either an off white or an off yellow or,
It also makes it look like a little bit more like tropical, like it could be like a house in California or something.
yeah, I could see that. Yeah, so I wanted the colors that stood out. I added a couple more colors in the brick, and you just don't want to do all the same. If you go too natural to the photo, then it's kind of boring. So that's why I wanted to bring out some. If I have the original photo still, I'll show it. But yeah, I wanted to bring out some of the brighter colors in there, but still
Yeah.
keep it not too bright that it's like unrealistic. So
I think the details on the fur are like really good too. Like it's almost like as good as like a picture.
thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, I was
You're
actually
welcome.
glad about that because when I'm painting, I use like
Oh, Arenda, you finally decided to join us. We have a cat right here, folks. Hi. I hope you can hear that on camera. She just meowed the cutest meow.
no, I didn't hear that. When you're talking about something and then all of a sudden someone interrupts
Got
you.
her.
The
Did you
prof-
see her?
yeah, I saw the professionalism is just, it knows no bounds in this episode.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Araya can interrupt whenever she wants. I know she's like really like starved for
Needy.
attention. I get it.
Every time we start filming, she comes around.
She knows. She knows that's what the
Yeah.
audience really wants. I
Mm-hmm.
understand. She's like,
Oh, you're a good girl.
you're talking about another cat? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's another cat that you're talking about that's not me?
She's still on my lap. She's just chilling right now, loving life.
Anyway, if Araya doesn't mind, I'm just gonna quickly say one last thing about the fur. Is
Yes.
that when I'm painting like digitally, I use like replicated oil paint brushes on Adobe Fresco, and so I try to
Hmm.
change up the brush
I didn't know
depending
that.
on. Yeah, like it's like it works like oil paint, and the fact that the way it mixes colors is kind of like oil paint.
Gotcha.
And then like the brush texture is like oil paint. I try to make it kind of in that style, basically. So every digital painting I do is very similar style, and that's why I use the same brushes. And yeah, so I tried to do a different brush for the fur compared to everything else in the painting. But yeah, I really like this drawing. It's super cute, or painting, I should say. And I love cats, as I've said 3,000 times. And well, yeah, now Allie can share her last best photo, and then we can go to our memories.
Sounds good.
I remember this photo shoot. I wasn't there, but I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, so this is again a film photo, but this is 35 millimeter film instead of with the Holga. I'm just really proud of this one because I actually initially didn't think this was the best of the bunch from the film, and I still don't really think it's the best of the bunch, but a friend of mine told me they really liked this shot. So that's why it's in here. And I also just kind of feel like it represents like the whole day that I had planned because like
Mm-hmm.
this was a style shoot that I planned myself.
Oh
So
yeah.
these are just like friends of mine that like agreed to model for me. And I like planned out like a timeline for like a courthouse elopement in Lowell. And like we did pictures in the courthouse, we did pictures like at the train station, on the train, and we did pictures at like a local pizza place. And it was just a really fun day and like we all enjoyed ourselves. I brought champagne, I brought like vintage champagne glasses. Those pictures came out cool. We did like a champagne like popping moment like for pictures. That was really fun. And then we just kind of like hung around and like drank a little champagne and then when we were ready, like we took more pictures and then we went and had pizza and like it was just a really nice day, a lot of fun. Um, Charles and Kajua are like great people, and just like this picture holds like a lot of like good memories for me, and like I feel like that is sometimes like how I like judge like my best work because like a lot of my best work has like emotion and like feeling attached to it. So like my favoriteest couples that I like really connect with, like I love like the pictures because like I remember like the day spent with them, if that makes sense.
I totally got that. And I really like that you've got this photo because I can imagine that when it's film, it's probably really hard to get like the instant that they kissed and make you hope that it's correct, right? Like right
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, and you also like don't want to ask them to do it like 10 times.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
it's definitely hard.
Yeah, and you
Even
can't.
though like they are modeling for you, like I still don't like even like when it's models, I still don't like people to ask people to kiss like 10 times.
Yeah, I could see that. That could be pretty awkward.
I just feel like it's awkward for the couple and it's awkward for me too. Like I just don't like doing it. So
Yeah. But I remember this photo shoot when you showed those pictures. But yeah, I like the yellow of the, not bus, like a train.
train, yeah.
Yeah, not a bus. Yellow of the bus train.
It's actually
Ah,
like a trolley, really.
trolley.
It's more
Yeah,
like a trolley.
that makes sense. Yeah, like a trolley in comparison to the green
Do you
of the
see Araya's
trees.
tail?
Yes, she's been.
She's
I.
still in my lap. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm
But
only
yes,
giving you
the colors. The
compliments.
colors are nice.
I can stop giving you compliments. Yeah, like it.
Thank you so much.
But
This has been a good episode.
yeah, I like looking at I like looking at these like after the end of the year, and I should do that every year. I don't think we obviously didn't have the podcast for the end of 2023, but it makes you think. It's like looking at your best, you can think of like, ooh, maybe I should make more of those things. Like
Yeah,
I
for
could
sure.
make more. And of course, the things that are the best are the most meaningful. And so it does kind of like inspire me to make more of that, like more meaningful, story based art, like stuff that had like a whole not message necessarily, but had a whole like story behind it, you know. So yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, made me think about my worst art that quote unquote worst art in a different way. So that's
Yeah,
really
in a
cool.
positive spin, right?
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, I feel like if you don't have like a pile, and I'm like stealing this quote from Instagram, but like if you don't have a pile of like bad art, like recent bad art, then like you just aren't doing the work. And like I feel like it's good that we both have like, stuff that we think is bad, even though it's really not that bad. And like it's nice to be able to put a spin on it and be like, you know what really is bad art anyway? Like, I don't know, I feel like there's something good about even like the worst of art.
Yeah. I think we had a whole episode about bad art, but
Yeah, I think we did.
pretty early on,
It's
yeah.
almost like we did anyway. It's almost
Basically.
like I'm just repeating myself, but
It's okay. And then yeah, so yeah, none of it's really bad as long, because it makes it think. And so isn't
hmm
that just what it's all about, folks?
yep, that and kitty tails.
Yeah, she's really flashing a lot of a lot of tail in this episode.
It's all about art and cats, really. Oh hey girl.
Aww. But yeah, so we can continue what we were talking about as our nostalgic memory. Yeah, we wouldn't really like there was maybe only one time where we were like mad at each other, but I can't tell you what it was. I feel
Yeah,
like
no, I feel like I remember times that we've been like annoyed with each other, but it's never been like a full-blown fight.
no. I'm also not the
Like
type to really yell. I don't really yell at people that much, except my
me
brothers.
neither.
Yells at my brothers, but I mean that's a whole different story. But even then, I hardly ever like yell. I don't know. But either way, we never really argued in general, except when we were like literal children.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just kind
that's
of funny.
true.
I mean,
I can think of times that I've been like, oh, Beth's really been annoying right now, but like I would either like not tell you and just get over it, or I would just like tell you that you're being annoying right now. And then like I don't know. I don't remember a time that like we really fought.
you know what's kind of funny though is when you were younger, it was really, you didn't hide ever that you were annoyed. You could just tell in your face when you were annoyed.
Really?
Yeah, I could always tell when you were annoyed anyway. You always had the same face. It's kind of funny.
That's really funny. Oh my
There
God, I
was
didn't
this thing that
realize
you would
that.
do too when you get annoyed. I mean, this was like when you were actually annoyed. You'd be like, I just have memories of you going
No way. How old was I?
like 10.
Oh, okay. It's kind of old to be doing that, but all right.
I don't think it was usually
It's
caused
so
by
funny.
me though. I don't think like I necessarily you were always it was like just kind of circumstantial random things. I feel like more likely we would annoy Rochelle together.
Yeah. Yeah. Or Rochelle would annoy us and then we'd lock her out of the room.
Yeah, there's times where I look back and I feel kind of bad.
We're kind of mean. Yeah. Sorry, Rochelle. No wonder she doesn't want to talk to us.
Like we were 13 and she was like 10. Like that,
It wasn't that bad. We just
Yeah.
like, locked her out of the room sometimes and hung out without her.
I know. She would be like, guys, open the door.
Oh, mean. Oh my
We were
God.
little assholes.
You really were.
Anyway, as we got older, as Rochelle got older, then we included her in the things. Not all the time. No, we hung out with her a lot. And there were times that, you know, she had to go outside. And so
Hmm. Yeah, it's the way it is.
it is what it is.
All right.
Anyway,
This has been fun. We'll be back soon with another episode. We may or may not do one on our gear and equipment next time. So just stay tuned for that. So we're gonna talk about our favorite things that we like to use for our art.
huzzah. Okay, so thank you guys. Thank you for watching. It was a little bit of a longer one, but I appreciate all y'all. Hope you guys' 2025 is starting off strong. So yeah. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.